Well, this is it. I'm gonna try to get back into the YouTube thing. I really haven't done much of it. I uploaded a video a long time ago, and then I did one when the Hawks had a big issue because they're my team. And now I'm gonna do a reaction video for this, and I'm gonna try to get back into doing like reactions and doing me reacting to videos, doing hockey knowledge, doing some stuff, maybe doing some baseball stuff. I know I've been jumping on some hockey live streams. I was watching the Hockey Guy tonight. If you don't know who that is, but you would know who he is before you know who I am, because I don't have a subscriber yet, I don't think. Um, go check him out. He's great. He's probably one of the reasons why him and Arcade Regiment are two people who are like, maybe I'll try to do this. Maybe I'll try and do this hockey thing again. Maybe I'll start doing videos because I do really enjoy talking to people, especially hockey people. So game 7 was tonight, and we were treated to a game not a lot of people expected to go the way it went. Now, you have the entirety of Massachusetts rooting for Boston. Obviously, that makes sense. It's not rocket science. They want their team to win, and to be honest, I kind of wanted Boston to win, not just because I got the jersey on, but just because they're also, real quick, shout out to Full Moon Jerseys on eBay for great cheap Reebok jerseys. They're always authentic. I got myself a Tyler Seguin Boston Bruins jersey. I love Seguin as a player. I'm probably going to get a Seguin Stars jersey too. I'm trying to complete the collection, and although no collection is really ever complete, and him having cheap jerseys, affordable jerseys, great shipping, great communication, and all that makes it really easy to side with him. So this is a series where Boston got outplayed, and they still ended up winning. This is a series. This is not exactly what I'd call an EA Sports series, and an EA Sports series is essentially a series in which, like the Chicago Blackhawks last year losing to Nashville, that is an EA Sports series. That is you have the worst team in the playoffs facing off against the number 1 seed in the West, I believe. May have been number 1 seed in just the Western in their division, but I think it was Western Conference. It was conference, and they get swept by Nashville. Now, Nashville deserved to win more so than say Chicago, but it's still an EA Sports series because that's one of those series where you're playing NHL, you're playing NHL, whatever game it is, and you have built this great team in franchise mode, and you go out and get swept in the first round, and you're like, what the heck, man? I built this great team. But not talking about EA Sports. I have a rant to do about that I will maybe do later. I haven't really decided what all I'm going to do on this channel. This series, I really thought Toronto was going to win tonight. I really thought the Maple Leafs were going to move on to the second round. I think Tampa Bay is going to kill whoever comes out of this series. I don't think it matters. I think Tampa Bay is sitting there just licking their chops going, okay, who wants some of us? I think it's Tampa and Pittsburgh in the next round, even though I really, really, really want to see Ovi win a cup. He's one of my favorite players. He's a great player, and that being said, if he doesn't win a cup, he will be one of the greatest players in history to never win a cup. And it's sad that that's how it is, but that's just kind of how it is. Freddie Anderson allowed 6 goals on a total of 24 shots, one being an empty netter. And so that's just kind of how it is. Start of the third period, I thought Toronto had it, and when Boston scored in the third, I was like, okay, where's Toronto's answer? When Boston got a 2-goal lead in the third, or when Boston took the lead in the third, I'm like, okay, when's Toronto going to answer? When Boston took a 2-goal lead in the third, I'm like, when's Toronto going to answer? And when they put the empty netter in, I'm like, Toronto didn't answer. You know, they played 40 out of the 60 minutes of the game. Where was the other? I was watching the hockey guys live stream, and he mentioned Jake Gardner playing with injury, and you know, that makes sense. You know, if you have a D-man that's down, especially when you're top four, it becomes really hard to replace him. Unless you're someone like Nashville and you have a killer top four and your bottom two aren't bad, but they're not, you know, necessarily good. That being said, this ends the series, and now we're on to the second round. Boston's going to face Tampa. I will probably do a video breaking down that series in a minute. But I did want to do a reaction video. To all Maple Leaf fans, I'm sorry. Not that it's any consolation. I'm a Hawks fan. We missed the playoffs. I mean, at least you got this far. One big talking point that's probably going to come out of this series is, did Kadri cost his team the series by taking that penalty? Now, if you look at the 3 games, Kadri was out. He was suspended for the first game. I got the stats right here. You know, look, pardon my terrible handwriting. So Kadri was out for games 2, 3, and 4. Boston won 2 out of those 3 games, with Toronto winning game 3 4-2 and making sure Boston didn't sweep them. Boston did blow a 3-1 series lead and had to go to game 7. It took them 3 tries to win 1 game. Now, they still won that 1 game, so at the end of the day, you can kind of say, you know, it's the end result that matters, not exactly the way you get there. But, you know, Vegas did not waste a single opportunity. Sorry. I'm at my house and my parents were talking. I thought they were talking to me. It's gonna be really awkward because you can't hear that, and so you're just gonna hear nothing but dead silence for a few seconds. That's fine. That's whatever. So what you do is, so technically he lost them. The loss of Kadri lost them 2 games. But if we look at it, Austin Matthews, where was he this series? He had solid game after solid game, but he wasn't putting up the points everyone thought he would. Everyone thought Austin Matthews would come out and do this, you know, this great sports strip he's on. Hey, there's something I'd be good at. But Kadri did cost his team 1 game, maybe 2. Because he that was a hit he shouldn't have taken. Now, Hockey Guy did point this out, and I have looked at it. Kadri has cleaned up his play a little bit, not a whole lot, so this is not beyond out of character for him, but it's still not like he's going out of his way to make horrible hits. You know, the hit on Wingles was a bad hit. You know, that the 3 games was well deserved. You know, you can't go after a defenseless player, even if you think, you know, I mean, I get in the moment thing, but moving on, you lost, your team went on to lose 2 of the next 3 because you weren't there. But they get Kadri back, they win 4-3 and 3-1. Not a bad series, and then they lose game 7, 7-4. What do we do from here? What does Toronto do from here? What does Toronto do and move on from this loss? Well, first of all, get better defensemen. And I'm not saying what you have now isn't good, but you need more depth on the defensive pairs. You know, and if you're Boston, word of advice, don't start your 4th forward line to start the game. You almost were down in the first 30 seconds of the game because you decided to play your 4th line, and the Toronto coach is like, whoa, what are they doing? This is stupid. Plekanec goes straight off the ice. Austin Matthews jumps on and gets a scoring opportunity, you know? So it's like, it doesn't make sense. It's a game 7, you know, I guess you could say it worked out, so, you know, if it works, you're a genius. If it doesn't, you're a dumbass. But there's not much to it. Don't start your 4th forward line. I would never, if I was a coach, I would never start a 4th forward line unless every single member on my first 3 forward lines was hurt and I was forced to play them the entire game. But you don't have them take the opening phase off in a game 7. That being said, I think Tampa Bay and Boston will be a good series. I see it going 5 or 6 games. I don't see Boston winning more than 2 games, though. If Boston can force it to a game 7 through chippy play, that wouldn't overall surprise me. But I just think Tampa Bay has so much momentum going forward. They have so much, scoring talent left and right. They have defensive depth that makes, a defensive depth that, is pretty good. And that Mikhail Sergachev trade. Hey, Montreal, how's that working out for you? How do you guys do in the playoffs again? Don't worry, I'm a Blackhawks fan. We missed the playoffs too. It's fine. I get it. We suck. We're with you. We both have chances of winning the draft lottery, so we can share that. That being said, I'm probably going to cut this video off here. It doesn't need to be a super long video. I just want to give my reaction. Apologies to Maple Leafs fans. You guys really, really deserve this and really, really wanted it. Boston just came out on top. They used the power of the crowd, because that's a real thing. And they used the power of the crowd, and they just rallied, and they just kept doing it, and you just didn't have an answer. I don't think this is the end. I think you guys can come back next year. I think you guys can do great things next year. I just think for now, your defensemen, you need to get a little work on your defensive core. And, as a potential, I say that as many times as I can because I don't want to start anything, all right, even though the rumors are going to fly. If John Tavares decides he wants to go play in Toronto for the Maple Leafs, the Toronto center depth looks nasty. Looks absolutely nasty. So, there's that. So that will probably wrap up this video. I'm going to try to keep it under, at or around 12 minutes. So, Boston moves on to play Tampa. I still say Tampa wins. I'm going to try to get back in the YouTube thing, like I said at the beginning. I really enjoy talking hockey, and I really hope I can start doing something like this, and maybe I can make a little money, but if not, not too bad. Thank you for listening. Peace.